while throwing the light on the nature of Harappan religion, did you find the element of continuity between Harappan and Vedic religion? This question is, my friend, this is in two parts. The first part is this one. So half part of the question is hypothetical, because simply you have to specify here the nature of Harappan religion. And the second part of the question is, did you find the element of continuity between Harappan and Vedic religion? So it was, you can see, that is what? That is argumentative part, the second one part. So the question is in two parts, really challenging, because you can allocate maximum 125 words for the first part, and then you can say the second one, that is 75 words or maximum 100 words you can use. So really challenging, but no problem at all. Just start a question in one line or whatever may be. So firstly, try to explain the question. Whenever you find the term nature, so what do you mean by nature? So normally you can see in nature, another term for nature is what? That is features. What you know as features, whenever you have to write over the nature, so it means you have to write over the feature. What is the feature? And the second one question is argumentative. The second part of the question is argumentative. Did it? It means partially yes, partially no. So how to start the question? You can start in this manner. Religion is normally religion is having two aspects. Religion is having two aspects. Having two aspects. Firstly, metaphysical. Metaphysical aspect. Metaphysical aspect. You should not get confused with the term metaphysical aspect. Metaphysical means philosophical. You will find the term metaphysical, it means philosophical. The metaphysical aspect and ritualistic aspect. Ritualistic aspect. I think you people are having the knowledge about ritualism. Ritualistic means in Hindi that is called अनुष्ठानिक. मतलब जो कर्म कांड करते हो, जैसे temple going. At that time there was no temple, but even idol worship, you can see you are doing some sort of sacrifice, whatever maybe, like fire altar, etc. So if you are doing some sort of, you can see, the common behavior, your common religious behavior is called rituals. And metaphysics means ki what is the ideology behind that. Suppose you can say, we'll take Hinduism. So Hinduism is having today a lot of ritualistic features. But behind the ritualistic features, there is a strong ideological or metaphysical basis as well. For example, soul and Brahm, salvation, etc. Here I have to highlight this point. Ki normally religion is having the two aspects. But due to the dearth of archaeological evidence, we are not aware about the metaphysical aspect of Harappan religion clearly. But on the basis of existing, due to the dearth of literary evidence and due to the dearth of or absence of literary evidence and without the support of literary evidence, we are not having the clear knowledge about the metaphysical aspect of Harappan religion. But on the basis of existing archaeological evidence, at least we can draw a picture of the main features of the religion in following way. So in this way, I will start the question. without the support of without the support of without the support of literary evidence without the support of literary evidence we are not having the clear idea about the metaphysical aspect of Harappan religion. But on the basis of archaeological evidence, we can underline following features. In Harappan religion. My students, we have just started the question. Normally, you people are doing the writing. So initially, during the earlier phase, suppose you can say you will just hear about the religion, you will come to realize that when a devotee start devotion to a god, so initially he was going to be more formalistic or more ritualistic in his dealing with God. But as he was turning to be mature, so he just moving from you can say a god in a form to a formless god. Formless god means completely what you know from the Akar Ishwar to Nirakar Ishwar. The same happens in case of students as well. During the earlier phase, the students whenever start writing, so he is just going to be much descriptive in his answer writing. So some of you are making a complaint that the question or answer is going to be unmanageable. So answer is going to be unmanageable due to the fact that your writing is descriptive, not analytical. If your writing would turn to be analytical, it means you can write, you can say, you can give the dense idea in your answer with less use of words. That is possible in an analytical form of writing. So suppose, my students, if you have to write about the features, you might have started writing. You may have started writing this feature: the fire worship, the water worship, the animal worship, animal cult, swastik worship, the unicorn, the mother goddess, Paspat Shiva. So in this way, it is through giving such examples you might have finished your first part of the answer. But do you know, in that case, you have not talked about the feature. You have simply talked about the single one feature. And you have simply described about the religion. The question is not describe about the religion. Question is describe about the feature. So, as the following features as the point, first you can write polytheistic character. polytheistic character, and it is here. In the single one line, you will mention about all the features, all the gods, all the trends, the fire worship, mother goddess, this one, Paspas Shiva, means ki various trends are continuing simultaneously. Polytheistic means in Hindi Bahudevwadi nature, character, polytheistic nature. Then as the point number 2, emphasis over feminine elements. Here you will insert the example. Keep in your mind, if you are not giving the example properly, so your question will not carry the weightage. So example, you can say ki in seals, ki how the ki the women worship, or Sitla Mata, 7 sisters, or you can say the specific worship on the female god, etc. Then as the third one feature, religion was associated with fertility cult. So indirectly, it encouraged production as well. अब here you can say कि it could encourage the production as well. अब here you can say fertility cult, you need to give the example in one more line. Though you know in the one line, how is it possible? Just try to understand the point. In one line you have to mention here. Fertility cult, you can talk about the mother goddess, and you are talking about the worship of the male and female organs. Here you can cite the example from Harappa, there is on a seal from a woman's womb, a tree is just shown as coming forth. So that is reflecting the possibly the earth goddess. Then the male and female organs were being worshipped. Up in what way it was? Even the serpent cult was in one sense associated with the fertility cult, because serpent was symbolizing sex in India, in Indian tradition, and sex is always going to production. Likewise, even fire altars you find here in Kalibanga, Lothal, Banawali, etc. So from the fire altars you can say that this was also reflecting some sort of production, because in fire altars you are just giving oblation either in form of grains or animals. So there it reflected the use, it reflects the wish, your wish. You are giving this part and God will in return give me a larger quantity. Now suppose in some temple today you will find that people are just throwing 1 rupee a coin in the temple or such a sacred place or religious place. So what is the symbolic meaning? Symbolic meaning is that God, I have given you 1 rupee because I am poor person, I am giving 1 rupee to you, but you are having abundance, so please return me 1 crore. So it is enshrined, passion for the more and more wealth. So in this way, even fire altars could symbolize that. So here 1 and 2 examples will place for the elements of Bhaktism. Elements of Bhaktism, you can say. Bhaktism. Because normally idol worship is getting associated with Bhaktism. From Harappan civilization, you find the elements of idol worship. Then 5.1, Proto Shiva. So it was later being supposed to be there is one view possibly the Harappan elements later gave encouragement and the Harappan elements could become the part of the future Hinduism as well. There is one view, but some scholars are denying this phenomena. Now, at the second part of the question, you can say although there was difference in the nature of Harappan religion and Vedic religion as one was iconic means murti pujak, iconic, but another was aniconic, another was aniconic. What is the difference? In Vedic civilization, you will find that there was you can say abundance of gods. So many gods were incited in Vedic Shukta. But you will find that these gods were not given and a human form and human shape, or not the shape of idol. Idol worship was not visible during Vedic period, but in Harappan civilization you find that. So that's why it was iconic and that was not iconic, aniconic. That's why. But in spite of the difference, but still you can say, in spite of that, some point of similarity, were still visible. Here you can say these were such as here you can say polytheistic character, not idol worship, but polytheistic character is still there, character. Point 2, worship of mother goddess, a mother goddess, you can say even Usha, Nisha, Ratri, Aranyai. So in the Vedic religion also you will find this element. And third one you can say fire cult, worship of fire cult, just simply fire cult. Fire cult, it was clearly visible in Vedic period, but even from some Harappan sites you find some elements of sacrifice. So in this way, the both parts would be over. Critically examine the role of railways in the modernization of India under British rule. Make me clear. Point 1, hypothetical question. Point 2, argumentative question. Which type of question is this? Point 2, this question is argumentative. Now I am changing a question. Just 1 minute. Throw light on the role of railways. Throw light on the role of railways in modernization. Role of railway in modernization of India. throw light on the role of railways in modernization of India. Is this question hypothetical or argumentative? Definitely hypothetical. Now here you can say that they have simply given a statement and they have given a specific burden on you or duty on you to prove it. You have to prove one point of view. Here you find the term critically examined. So normally, what is the difference between the two? Suppose you have to explain the same statement, throw light on the statement. You have to give focus over the statement. You have to elaborate the statement, means you have to prove it. But here the term critically examine the role of railways. Make me clear. In this question, what is the demand? Demand one is talk about benefits of railways. Talk about benefits of railways. Here is point number 2 I am just making here. Talk about benefits as well as loss caused by railways. Benefits as well as loss caused by railways. Please make me clear what is the demand of the question, whether you have to move in this direction or move in this direction. So definitely, as the question is argumentative, so you have to talk about the positive contribution and the negative or the role of railway. You people, normally it is normally believed that students coming from English medium is in better condition. They are just, you can say, slightly intellectually more advanced. What the situation of you people, you can better make a judgment. You will come forward with your ideas, so even I can make an assessment on this ground. Here you can say, if you have just identified the question, this is argumentative question, so whenever your writing would be turned to be more mature, so even your introduction as well as your thesis, particularly not introduction, thesis, should give focus over the central idea. Suppose you will start the question, railways, the one of the contributions of the British rule in India is the, you can say, the development of railways. This is a simple statement, that is an introductory line. But you are making this point, whenever you will just assess the impact of railways, we come to underline its positive and negative aspect both. So that is your thesis. Now with the change of paragraph, you will start about the positive aspect. Its positive aspect will make this point clear, it could integrate the Indian market. As the point number 2, you can mention about it brought the different regions geographically near to each other. So it has, in one sense, it paved the way for the future political unification, and so finally even it could give, in long term, it could give birth to nationalist consciousness as well. As a third aspect, you can mention about once the railways were introduced, so industrialization could not be prevented because the railway engine or steam engine was introduced in India. So the modern practice system was inspired by the development of railways. So in this way, you will just talk about the so many benefits. But with the change of paragraph, you can write, but there is another side of coin as well. Under a colonial government and having been inspired by the colonial interest, railways proved, you can say, in immediate context, railway proved detrimental to Indian economy, having been inspired by the colonial interest. As the first one aspect will make this point clear, through railways, the British could carry the manufactured goods to the remotest part of India. So it proved detrimental to the handicrafts industries in India. So whereas in Europe and America, railways could give birth to industrialization, in India, it rather caused the deindustrialization. As the point number 2, you will make this point clear कि normally the railways or construction of railways is preceded, or sorry, you can say railways is followed by the foundation of modern industries. But in India, as the all essential goods were directly imported from Britain, so here the construction of railways could not lead to industrialization as you find in case in contemporary, as you find in case in Europe and America earlier. Okay, and as the third one aspect, you have to make this point clear कि railways created extra burden on Indian economy, even in that India was heavily indebted and it was supposed to make a payment to Britain or transfer a stipulated amount of money per annum to Britain, that is popularly known as home charges. And then give the conclusion. In this way, we can say, although in the long term impact could have been the modernization of India, but in short term it proved devastating to Indian economy. Even Karl Marx was frustrated after observing the impact of railways on India. So in this way, you can make this point clear.